Okay, students, welcome to our online science lesson. My name is Teacher Naomi, and today we are going to continue learning science from level today. You are fine. I hope you are feeling breakfast and you are ready to learn. Okay, yesterday we were talking about parts of plants. Parts of a plant. Okay, I hope you can see my screen now. Yesterday we were talking about parts of a plant and we are going to continue from here. I hope you can remember we say that plants are living things and plants can make their own food. That is what we said yesterday. And today we want to remind ourselves about parts of a plant and then we continue with the functions of the leaf. We learned about functions of the root yesterday. Today again we are going to review the parts of a plant and from there we continue with the functions of the leaves. Okay students, look at the screen. We have a plant there with its parts. We say this part you can see here is called a flower. There is a fruit. This is a leaf. This is a stem and these are roots. Flower, fruit, leaf, stem, and fruit. Okay. Now, yesterday we talked about the roots. Here, these are the roots down here. The roots are found underground. And as you can remember, we say that roots are used to absorb water and nutrients from the soil. And it also helps plants to stand firmly in the soil. Those are the functions of the roots that we learned yesterday. And we say that some plants can store food. Some plants can store food. We say that some plants can store food. Okay, and then we say plants like carrots, cassava can store food inside the soil. Some plants can store food in the soil. Students, you remember? Okay. These plants that you see on the screen, we say that they can store food in the roots. That is what we learned yesterday. We are just reviewing what we said yesterday before we continue. And then we say that inside the stem, there are two tubes. inside the stem there are two tubes, and these two tubes, this is a stem here. I'm reminding you what we learned yesterday before we start with today's lesson. This is the stem that you see here, and then we said inside this stem there are two tubes. There are two tubes inside the stem, and one we said it is called the xylem, and we say that plants need water from the soil, and that water is being absorbed by the roots. And we have a tube inside the stem that is used to absorb water and transport it to all parts of a plant. And that tube is called xylem. Xylem is used to transport water and minerals from the roots to the leaves. And then we talked about the phloem. This is a phloem used to transport food from the leaves to the rest of the plant. So we have two tubes inside the stem, the xylem and the phloem. Xylem is to transport water and minerals, and phloem is to transport food from the leaves to the rest of a plant. And you know that plants make their own food in the leaves. Sorry, plants make their own food in the trees. Okay, and we talked about the stems. Some stems are strong and other stems are weak. On the screen is a coconut plant showing woody stems. The coconut plant is one of the plants with a strong and woody stem. Also a mango plant. Some stems are weak. Other plants have weak stems like watermelon, pumpkin, morning glory, and many others. Some plants, they have weak stems. They cannot stand on their own, so they lie on the ground because their stems are very weak. And then now let's go for today's lesson. We are going to talk about functions of the leaf. You see the leaf? This is what we call the leaf. We were talking about the roots down here. Now we are here. Functions of the leaf. Functions of the leaves. Okay, as a teacher is going to take you through, you try also to read what is on the screen. Leaves capture sunlight to make food for the plants. The leaves, they obtain sunlight from the sun to make food for the plant. So, here you should know that plants make their own food in the leaves. And then, this process of making food is called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process in which plants make their own food. The process is called photosynthesis. Now, here is a plant. On the screen, there is a picture of a plant showing the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Okay, we have said that plants capture sunlight from the sun. They capture sunlight from the sun, and then for photosynthesis to take place, there must be sunlight, there must be carbon dioxide, and water. Plants use sunlight, they use water, They use carbon dioxide to make their own food. And the picture that you see on the screen is the picture showing you the process of photosynthesis. I hope you understand, students, and I hope you are listening. We have said that plants make their own food in the leaves. That is what you should know. And the process is called photosynthesis. The process in which plants make their own food is called photosynthesis. Okay. And for photosynthesis to take place, there must be water, there must be sunlight, and carbon dioxide. Very good. Okay, let's continue. Who is speaking? Is there any question? Okay, functions of the leaves. On the leaves, there are tiny openings called stomata. On the leaves, what you are supposed to know all about the leaves. On the leaves, you can see my leaf here at this side. We have a picture of a leaf. Now, there are tiny openings called stomata. They are found on the underside of the leaves, down, under the leaf. The stomata, they allow water and carbon dioxide and oxygen to move in and out of the leaf. That is the work of the stomata. So that is here. You should know what a stomata is. They are tiny openings found under the leaves, and these openings, they allow water, carbon dioxide, and oxygen to move in and out of the leaves. That is the work of the stomata. Now here, you cannot see the stomata with your naked eye. You can't see them because they are tiny. Something that is tiny is very small. You cannot see it with your own eyes or with your naked eyes. You must use something like there is something we call a magnifying glass that makes tiny things to appear large or makes them bigger. So you cannot see stomata with your naked eye, but they are underside of the leaves. They are under the leaves. So stomata, these are stomata because you can see in my picture there are many. But one, image is one, it is called stoma. Stoma is one, stomata, there are many. Okay, you understand? You listen to the teacher, you look at the picture, and then you try to read what you see on the screen, then you can understand. But I hope we are going on well. Now, stomata are usually open when there is light and closed when it is dark. For example, now it is daytime, there is light outside. Now the stomata on the leaf, they appear like this, closed. You see this one, we have said that they are closed when it is dark only and open when it is light. Now look at this picture, we have a closed stomata and open stomata. This one shows that this one A that is closed. We have said that during the dark, for example at night. Now at night, stomata on leaves appear like this, the way you see this picture, because it is closed. It is closed stomata or stomach closed. We said one is called stomach. And this picture number 2, this is A and this is B. Picture B, it is stoma open. It is an open stoma. So this is night and this is daytime. During daytime, stomata are open. During night, stomata are closed. When it is dark, at night it is dark, so the stomata are closed. During daytime, there is a lot of light, so it is open because that is when plants get their sunlight to make their own food. Okay, is there any question? Why are the stoma open during the day? Because during the day, plants make their own food. There must be sunlight when plants make their own food. So, and we say that, here we say that the stoma allow water, carbon dioxide, and oxygen to move in and out of the leaves. That is why at night they are closed because they can't make their own food without sunlight. So they must use sunlight, and that is daytime, to make their own food. Okay. And then we have what we call, you look at my screen, there is a word that I've written with the thread. Stomata allows transpiration to occur. Transpiration, there is a vocabulary there, transpiration. What is transpiration, students? Transpiration is the loss of water through leaves. Transpiration is the loss of water through leaves. Now there is a picture, I have a picture that shows how transpiration occurs. Now at this one, I want to do it, you do it at home. You do it. You take a plastic bag like that one you see on the screen. You get a tree and then you wrap it round. You tie it round and then you leave it from morning till night. Or after some hours, you go and check. You will find a lot of water inside the plastic bag. Why? Because plants use water. Because stomata allow transpiration to occur. Transpiration is the loss of water through the leaves. Yeah, loss of water through the leaves. You will find a lot of water in the plastic bag because plants lose water through the leaves. They lose water. They take out water. Like you, when it is too hot, you sweat. You sweat a lot. When it is too hot, you lose water from your body. Also, plants lose water through the leaves. Okay, I hope you can be able to explain how translation takes place, and you can be able to say what translation is, also photosynthesis. So we have photosynthesis and we have translation. Photosynthesis is a process in which plants make their own food, and transpiration is the loss of water through the leaves. It's a process in which plants lose water through the leaves. Okay. Now that is all about leaves. That is all about the leaves. Before we move to a flower, any question? Is there any question, students? Okay, when you keep quiet, it means that you have understood. And I hope you are following the teacher. But it is better to talk. Okay, that's all about the leaves. So, there are some things that you should know about these leaves. Number one, most leaves are color green. They are color green because of chlorophyll. And not all plants that can make their own food. Only green flowering plants make their own food. Because in order for a plant to make its own food, there must be chlorophyll also. We have talked about photosynthesis and we have talked about transpiration. And we have seen that the plant makes its own food in the leaves. That is what you should know. Okay, thank you. Let's continue. We go to the functions of the flower. You remember where the flower is? Maybe I show you a flower once again. Now this is a flower. This one. This flower has a lot to learn. We have a lot to learn about a flower. So after seeing the picture of a flower, let's go back to where we were. Functions of the flower. The flower is a part of a plant that helps for reproduction. Reproduction is done in the flower. Making food is done in the leaf. Also, reproduction is done in the flower. A flower may have only male parts, can have only female parts, or both, male and female. A flower helps plants to reproduce. So it is a reproductive part of a plant. A flower may have only male parts. It may have only female parts. Also, it can have both male and female. Now let's see how a flower looks like. Now this is my flower, and students, you are supposed to know all these parts of a flower. I say there is a lot to learn when it comes to a flower. There is a lot because this is the reproductive part of a plant and it has a lot to learn. Now these parts here, you are supposed to know them, all of them, the names of parts of a flower. Now these are called, starting from here, where you see my mouth, this one is called stigma. Stigma. Going down here, This tube here supporting the stigma is called the style. The tube that supports or holds the stigma up is called the style. Also, you must learn the spelling of this word, stigma, S-T-I-G-M-A, stigma. This is a tube down. I hope you have seen my mouse where it is pointing. It is called a style. This one is called a style. And then from the style you go up to the stigma. So at this part here, the middle part here, we have the stigma, we have the style. Now going here down, the same note, down here we have what we call ovary. Ovary. O-V-A-R-Y, ovary. And then we have ovule. Ovule. O-V-U-L-E. And then these are called the anther. The anther. And there is another tube here that holds the anther up. It is called the filament. Filament. We have the petal. Petal is the colored part of a flower. These ones, they are of different colors. You can find petals of color pink, color yellow, color purple. They are of different colors and they are very bright. Petals are very bright. And then this part down here that is color green is called sepal. Sepal. We have what are we meaning with? Head cell or the stalk, and we have the receptacle. Okay, I say that there are a lot to learn about a flower, and next time we are going to learn one by one, like what is the use of anther on flowers, use of stigma, use of style, use of filament, petal, functions of the ovary, functions of the ovule, functions of the stigma, everything we are going to discuss one by one. And I don't want to start discussing it now because I have little time remaining, maybe before we end our lesson. Okay, there's something I've forgotten here. We say that a flower can have male parts only, or female, or it can have both female and male. Now, in a flower, we have a male part and a female part. For reproduction to take place, there should be a male and there should be a female. So here, we have anther and filament. Anther and filament, these are the male parts of a flower. These are two male parts of a flower, anther and filament. And they are called, one word for them is called stamen. Stamen is a male part of a flower. A male part of a flower is called stamen. It is made of anther and filament. And also, if we have a male part, it means we have a female part. Now, female parts of a flower are stigma, style, ovary, ovule. These are the female parts of a flower, and they are solid, sigma, oval, and ovule. They are called one word, pistil. Pistil. So the female parts of a flower, sigma, oval, ovule, they are called pistil, and the male parts of a flower, anther and filament, one word, stamen. So male part, stamen, female part, pistil. So in order for reproduction to take place, there must be a male part and a female part, according to my flower here. Now this flower, it has a female and it has a male. Some flowers may have only female. Some flowers may have only male. Okay. I said I don't want to start discussing one by one. This one is a lesson for its own. Next week maybe we will start from here, starting one by one. Petals. What is the work of petals? How does they look like? Why do they look like that? Someone is raising the hand here now. It's time to ask question where you didn't understood. Napong, do you have any question?
No.
Napong, any question? Kun? No. Have you understood? Tanya Nash. Any question? No question. Okay. We will discuss next time these parts of the flower one by one. They are used, the fifth stigma, style. This one is for another day, not now. I want to hear questions from you, students. Any question? When people keep quiet, it means they have understood everything. When you keep quiet, it means you have understood everything. Okay. Look at my flower. I'm asking you now my questions before I end my lesson. And someone is going to answer. Yeah, I know time's up. I don't know what time you are using. I have something like 10 minutes remaining. What are the male parts of a flower? Look at my flower and tell me the male parts of a flower. And if you answer that question, you raise up your hand, you answer that question, and then we end our lesson. This flower that you see here, what are the male parts of a flower? What are they? Here, you name them. 1, 2. There are 2 male parts of a flower there. Can you tell me their names? Someone raise up your hand. Have you heard my question? Name the 2 male parts of a flower. I'm waiting for you. If you can't answer, I will not end my lesson. Someone answer my question. What are the 2 male parts of a flower? You look at my picture and you answer yes. Someone want to answer? Yeah? The 2 male parts of a flower? Where have you gone? Someone wanted to answer. Okay. I don't know whether you have understood. Okay, because you can't see. Now, yesterday I gave you homework. I hope you are continuing doing it. So today I'm adding it. This one we have done. Functions of the roots we have already done. I want to see you. Okay, students. I was saying that yesterday I gave you homework functions of the root. Today you answer number 1, functions of the root. We have done functions of the stem. You answer it because it is a weekend. Weekend is too long. And functions of the leaf. This one we have done. All this we have done. You remain with the functions. Don't do the functions of the flower because we have not finished doing it. So you do number 1 in your workbook. Number 1, 2, and number 3. And you send it and I will mark for you number 1, number 2, number 3. Functions of the root, functions of the stem, functions of the leaves. All those we have done. And I know you will answer them correct if you are listening. If only you are listening. Okay, students. I'm going to stop there. Thank you for joining my class. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Stay safe and goodbye. Goodbye. Okay. Bye. See you next week.